All right, girl. So
Yeah.
you talked about earlier, you wanted to talk about the McDonald's incident with the McDonald's manager.
Yeah.
Give us a backstory on that.
All right. So the suspect, her name is all right, but her name was Afini Muhammad.
That was the killer?
Yeah, that was the killer.
Okay. Did you see, all right, and I'm going to keep interjecting.
Yeah, of
Did you see
course.
her video that they posted the day before?
Yeah, when she had the knife and she just like
Wait, no,
was
I didn't see one with a knife. Wait, what?
yeah. Is she that's why when people are defending her, I'm confused because there was a video beforehand
Uh,
of her just kind of like branding a knife in front of the camera. And then it later came out that when she worked at Taco Bell's, I believe she tried to stab someone or she stabbed someone. Let me find a better website because this one is just talking about the manager. But yeah, like this is not her first time, threatening to stab someone or stabbing someone.
Okay.
So,
So let's talk about a subject that a lot of people don't want to talk about: microaggressions in the workplace,
okay.
especially of women of color.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that women, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. I left corporate America for that very reason, but I dealt with it a lot from white women, right?
Mm. Yep.
Black women, on the other hand, got on my fucking, oh, excuse me, got on my freaking nerves
Yeah.
because it's like, for some reason in our culture, when we get to a certain status or climbing the ladder, however way you go, right? I don't understand the need to want to exercise that on your fellow counterpart. Now, case in point, I've worked with all different types of people. The worst, I am sorry to say this, that I dislike working with is Indian women. Indian women don't control their households. They're very submissive at home. It's what the man says, what the man does. They're expected to follow a strict regimen, cook, clean, work, come home, cook, clean, but the man has the final say.
Yeah.
There was a bank that I used to work for early in my career, and I remember it was the 90% of the employees was Indian.
Mm.
When I tell you those are some of the pushiest, bossiest, nerve-wracking women to work with, and not for nothing, please don't work with the ones that don't believe in deodorant. It's a rough summer. A rough summer. I'm sorry. I am going to
Mm.
say it, and I'm not being malicious when I say
I
this.
know, but it's girl. Oh
Listen,
my god.
it should
I was
be
not expecting you to say that. That's why I was like, "Oh, wait."
no, because it's one, it's offensive,
Mm.
and especially when you're in a branch which air goes out,
Mm.
and you have to sit there and then you want to keep doing reaching tasks. Sit down and sit still, please. Sit still. It's bad enough I got to deal with your attitude. Now I got to
Now I
deal
got
with
to
your
deal with your
underarms.
phone.
Like, this is too much. And I'm not getting paid enough for this shit. You understand
You
what I'm
got to
saying?
deal with their funk in
Like,
different
nah.
ways.
But all jokes aside,
Yeah.
Spanish women come in second. They're very hard to deal with. Very hard to deal with. And not for nothing, they know what the fuck. They know it all.
Yeah.
They know it all. And there's always a silent competition between them and black women, I notice. It's like they're always trying to up in the black woman.
Yeah.
I don't care about this job as much as y'all think.
No, you're definitely right. And I never want to like out one culture or race, but I will say that the worst experience that I've had
Mhm,
at a job was with Dominican women. Like, I remember my first job, I was working at Auntie Anne's, and the majority of women there were Dominican,
mhm.
and they just were just hard to work with. And I'm gonna be honest, they were the reason why for a while I'm like, I don't know how I feel about Dominicans because they just for no reason,
I
like,
see, I've noticed it
just
from
had this
both Puerto
issue.
Ricans and Dominicans.
Yeah, Puerto Rican.
And not for nothing, I used to look at it as a cultural thing because not for nothing, the Jamaican culture, women are hard. They
Yeah,
speak hard, they act hard. It is just a part of the culture. So for a long time, I looked at it like
a
that.
cultural thing.
Right. But it's like, again, when you're in the thick of things on a professional front and you start seeing how cutthroat they start getting, you'll be like, hold on.
Yeah, it
First
just
of
be
all, you dedicated
unnecessary.
your life to this job for
Yeah, because
55
mind you,
years.
I was just a teenager. I was working there just for school. So when they were, I'm like, girl, I'm gonna be out of here in like a year or two. Like, I'm not trying to stay here. You can have this.
And
It's Auntie
that's
Anne's.
and that's the thing that a lot of them don't look at. It's like you fought very hard, and I commend you for working your way up the ladder. How again, however which way you may, but that does not negate the fact that you don't have to be so passive aggressive towards me or say things in a passive aggressive tone or in a condescending tone. But the crazy part, when you send it back, now you're the angry black woman. No, no, ma'am. You didn't see the other 15 times you've been poking, 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 and
That's
see
true.
what they want is when they poke, you react.
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm a false start. Don't ever believe my first reaction. Don't ever. That is the worst thing you could do because you're walking into a detonating bomb.
Yeah.
Because you think it's coming in calm, cool, collect. As a Libra, I'm diplomatic by nature, and I will
Yeah.
always art of war. When things cannot be won with diplomacy, we shall now resort to other mental and psychological tactics. And I will exercise those tactics very quickly and very efficiently if you fuck with me.
So going back to this story then,
Mhm.
because I love that you said that you were talking about building yourself up in the corporate ladder.
Mhm.
So we know I'm trying to get the manager's name. It's not coming
It
up.
is
You got it? Jennifer Harris.
yeah.
So Jennifer Harris was working at McDonald's for 15 years, and one of the things that Afini said was that she's very condescending. She talks down to her workers. So knowing that, and that's what she said. We obviously don't
Don't
know. We
know.
weren't there.
Mhm.
But do you think that the reason why people are riding behind Afeni is because we all have had that manager that just
Ding
think
ding
they the
ding
shit
ding ding
because
ding.
you've been in this job for like 20 years and it's like,
Not only that, but you also got to look at it's hard out here already. You got people out here
listen,
struggling.
Trump's
Yo,
America ain't playing.
it is not. And I mean, it's to a point. I know of people in apartments where you got a 4-bedroom apartment and you got 7 people living in there. People are trying to get it the best way they know how. People are at crash out status. And another thing a lot of people are seeming, to forget is that the pandemic, the after effects of the pandemic is still reeling. So people that really was on the brink before are at don't give a F status now. They're like with the shits. And honestly, this newer generation, they're not taking it. You're playing with their livelihood. And not for nothing, this newer generation spends more time, attention, and money on their vices than they do their responsibility. So when you start messing with their medicine money, things is getting real. And then unfortunately, you have a lot of these kids that's dependent on these same vices to help them get through day to day because they don't want to be on the psychotropic drugs that they're being given for the labels that they've been labeled unfairly, unjustly, because somebody just wants to make a buck.
Yeah.
So when I say the era we grew up in, it seemed hard, but it was easy. We had fun. These kids, it's a whole different scenario. It's a whole different outlook for them. Like, and not for nothing, nobody, one, you have this new age generation where they're expressing themselves more. They may not understand their feelings. They may be numb and may have no feelings, but what they're expressing is what they don't understand inside of them. So when you start pushing these new kids to certain heights, they're not going to react like your kids at home. Because again, you don't know what their upbringing was. You don't know what trauma they may have gone through. And you don't know what trauma as an adult she's working through. I keep saying, people, you got to stop messing with people. Crash outs are walking next to you every day, unbeknownst to you. And it's the person that you least expect. It's the one that's all put together, who doesn't have a hair out of place and that just looks fine. That's the one you need to be scared of, not the one that looks crazy. That's the normal one.
I agree with you, but I'm going to give you a little pushback.
Okay.
Because I definitely agree that you just have to be careful because nowadays these young people ain't taking it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as a teacher, I see that every day.
Mm-hmm.
I think my problem is that I'm also seeing that with these young kids now, like my students specifically, is you can't tell them anything. So I feel like no matter
So
what,
think
they're
about
gonna
it. They're
crash
coming
out,
from,
though.
you got to think about it. They're coming from a generation where they probably was spoiled. Their parents didn't have, so their parents overcompensated with them. But now their parents can't even control them because guess what? They spared the rod, spoiled the child.
Exactly. But what my problem is that people are defending this girl. And I just feel like we're in a generation where everyone is so sensitive that like I feel like now you just have to tiptoe around these kids because all of them are crash outs. Like
Nah, I'm not
I've been
tiptoeing around nobody. And I tell people in a
but
heartbeat,
I feel like that's what people are saying that like you have to be careful because these kids
yeah, be careful. But again, that doesn't mean go antagonizing a person. And what it sounds like, this manager was antagonizing this girl without having that compassionate bone in her body to put herself in that young girl's shoes to say, is she possibly going through something? No offense to any mother out there with more than two children, because I'm a 2-kid mom and mine's are 10 years apart.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I
don't got no kids.
thought I did it, thought again, and this one, the second one, made anybody here on her chinny chin chin, because I said by 30 I was getting my tubes tied.
Yeah.
And legally at that time, I came up in an era where I had to either been married or had more than one child to get my tubes tied. Marriage was definitely not on the cards at that time.
Yeah.
And second kid, and I'm barely struggling, I'm barely getting by with this one, you're bugging. So how about I just practice safe sex? What happened? I was 31.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, 31.
Okay.
No,
so it happened next
34.
Oh.
31. Child, don't get me the line, because let me see. All I know is we've been together 20 years, married 11 of them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
all right.
do the math. I'm glad he went in here. But long story short, you got these kids now. Like I said, in my era, I came up where if none of those requirements was met, doctors said we can't do it. Okay, so now I just have to practice real safe sex, right?
Bitch, at this point you better be abstinent. You just
again, hence why there was a 10-year gap.
Yeah.
And honestly, the 10-year gap happened because he took the condom off. We were still going for another 10-year stretch at this point. You get what I'm saying? And
not him taking the condom.
Yeah, that's the only reason. You understand what I'm saying? Because I wasn't on birth control. I didn't like birth control. Matter of fact, I'm lying. I was on the ring. And that was the most natural contraceptive to me at the time, because I was definitely not going for the depot shot. And look at all of the women that had the depot shot and how they blew up. It's like you pumping all this shit in your body.
Yeah.
Nope, I got a little piece of plastic. The only thing I got to worry about is microplastics. And if that hurts me, I can piss that out if need be.
No, and you're not lying. I'm on birth control now. And I don't know if you know me for a long time. I gained weight. Gain a lot of weight. Well,
not a lot.
Weight.
You just filled out.
I kind of like it, but I do gotta chill a little, with what I'm putting in my body,
That, and after 30, that you got to be careful.
Yeah,
because
I'm
after
29
30,
and then I'm gonna be 30 in a couple of weeks. Yeah,
and that 30 weight creeps up quick.
Yeah, and
this is the time where you really got to keep it tight. It's not eating late night anymore, going for 2 a.m. burgers.
I'm not a young girl anymore.
At all. But long story short, like I said, when you look at, and like I said, no disrespect to any woman out there that has more than 2 kids. This young woman has 6 kids. She has her own little mini army in the crib. Mm-hmm. She's at work. And as a parent, it is sometimes, depending on the type of parenting style you have, depending on the type of relationship, because I've been on both sides. I've been an employee and I've been a boss. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? So I know how to interchange in between both. And I've always, as a boss, put myself in an employee shoe and remembered if I was ever in that situation before making a decision. Yeah. I say all of that to say, depending on the person's parenting style and depending on that person as an individual, if you see someone around your kid's age, sometimes you start to reparent them because you see that. And it makes me wonder if that's what was happening. The problem is this new generation don't put value on anything. You don't know if that's what was happening and this young girl just took it the wrong way. She might have thought, when I said maybe she didn't have compassion, maybe that was her way of being compassionate. We don't know.
Yeah, and that's what
sorry.
Yeah, no, and that's what I feel. I feel like you said, we grew up in a generation where we were able to take tough love. Right. And I feel like we live in a generation now
they can't take it.
Yeah, it's like they start crying.
These YNs, they act so tough, but let the pressure come, they the first to buckle. You be like, well, where all the toughness go?
I
say it with your chest.
I see it in my classroom all the time. Like these kids just crying when you simply say, hey, you didn't do your homework, so now you have to stay during lunch to do your homework. Next thing you know, a chair is thrown at my damn head. I'm like, oh, that's sad.
That's it. Yeah. So again, but again, you got to look at, and I keep telling people this, and I'm stressing this to all educators out there, to all parents, to all people who have children in their lives or around them in their circumference. Pay attention to those outbursts. Pay attention to that kid that used to be outgoing that just withdrew.
Yeah.
Those are all signs that something deeper is going on. These young adults, what you are now seeing is what went on in childhood, sadly. So now it makes me question this young lady's
Right,
childhood and
exactly.
upbringing
I
and what
really
she
wanna
was
know more.
exposed to. Like, I really want to get and to know more about this story. So
Mhm.
we're gonna definitely take a break here and come back. But I definitely want to keep an update on this story because I
Yeah.
really want to get to the bottom of both parts. We won't really know unless other employees start talking about what type of boss this woman was. And from
Yeah.
what I've seen, the only people talking is her family.
Exactly,
Nobody
yeah.
else is talking. So a hit dog will holler.
Yeah.
So at the same time, was this that example where you got to learn how to stop pushing people's buttons
Yeah.
or learning just how to treat people as humans?
Yeah, you're
Because again,
100% right.
how you talk to your kids and how you talk to a person on the outside is very
It's
different.
different, yeah.
They're not going to take the way you talk to your kids.
Mhm.
And again, like I said, she may have just seen something in that little girl and just, code switched, unfortunately, and subconsciously, but we'll never know.
Never know, but we're still definitely gonna keep an update on the story.